Hello, my name is Carlos, and this is my persuasive speech. Today I'm going to talk about the homophobia in the US. The title of this presentation is Homophobia and how could be decreased in the US. The specific purpose is to create a lesson for people to learn about homophobia and how to stop the hate that exists against LGBT community. So a brief introduction. We're going to talk about some common crimes against LGBT people in the US. Most of them are because of hate. According to a renowned newspaper, the Huffington Post, they say that LGBT students are harassed at colleges nationwide. And according to this report, about 25% of the students that say that they are lesbian, gay, bisexual, they have been harassed due to their sexual orientation. So we're going to talk about some events. Also, I'm going to try to persuade you against homophobia and how this impacts the lives of thousands of people in the United States. And also, I'm going to present some proposals that how could be decrease these rates. So one important thing is that a common argument that people use against gay people is the religion, the Bible. So they manipulate what they say, and they say things that they are not even in the Bible to attack the gay community. They just wanna maybe, I would say, to reject this part of the population, and it's a common argument that they use using phrases like "God hates you," which has no any reason to be. It's not even in the Bible. So we're gonna talk about some events. The first demonstrations in favor of homosexual rights. It happened in the 1960s. We have to know that in the 1960s, gay people and lesbians were practically outlawed. They lived in secret and in fear. They were labeled for many doctors as mad, immoral by religious leaders, uncontainable by the government, predators by the news, and criminals by the police. So we know that back then in the 60s, New York law prohibited homosexual ads in public and private businesses, and gay frequency establishments were regularly the target of police raids and door closings. So we know the famous uh, event that happened in Stonewall Inn that happened in 1969 in the city of New York, that started a confrontation between the police of New York and the people that were at that moment at the bar, in a popular gay bar. Uh, and next year, in 1970, we celebrate the first gay parade, a gay pride day in some cities in the United States. That's the beginning of the gay movement. And since then, they've been fighting for their rights. And one of the reasons I chose this topic is because I think it's just how no, it's just not how can we decrease homophobia. It's also because I think it's not just the people that are openly homophobic when they make jokes, when they say statements, when they do ads, but I really believe that it's more the people that we do nothing when we hear uh, like discrimination, or when we hear jokes and we laugh and we know that that's not an opinion, that's not an argument, it's just hatred. It happened a lot with gay people, it happened with black people, it happened with immigrants. So I think we people that believe that we are not homophobic, when we have to fight or stand for the rights of other people, we don't do it because it's not about us. So that's why I chose gay people, even though the topic is really advanced in this country, in the US. It has a long history, and I still think that we have things to a lot of things to change. And the gay rights, it has to be a fight not just for the gay people, the gay community. It has to be from all society, because their rights is our rights. So we have to know that homosexuality is not considered anymore a mental illness. but until 1973, it was considered a mental illness in the U.S. Uh, it was because of that a lot of people was committing suicides. There was a lot of homicides and a lot of hate crimes around the United States. So uh, in that year, in 1973, the American Psychiatry Association decided to eliminate homosexuality from diagnostic in the. They stopped saying that it was a mental disorder. In 1990, the World Health Organization removed homosexuality from its list of mental illness. And we also have the famous law Don't Ask, Don't Tell here in the United States that was repealed. It was instituted in 1994 in the Clinton administration. It prohibited military personnel from discrimination against gay people. But what it did, it was barring openly gay, lesbian, or bisexual people from military service. So this is an image that I really like because when we fight for the rights of gay people, we forget that they've been there all the time. It could be our brother, it could be our friend, it could be our file, and we don't even need to know that they're gay. It's just that they're always there. It's our family, it's our friends. So we have to think like mm, when I okay here in the United States, I can really see in the media how they're really fighting for, and I think in a lot of societies that they are no, they're too conservative, and they have to see the fight that we're doing because I remember when I in 2016 when the gay marriage was openly it was approved in all the states in the United States by the Supreme Court. When I was back in Colombia, I was really happy because they interview a lot of people in my country, in Colombia, and how this decision in the US would affect decisions in our courts, in our society, and in Latin America society. So since then, we're seeing countries like Chile, Australia, Colombia, following what the United States did. So this is another one that I like. And it's really important to know that hate is not an opinion, hate is not an argument, and we need to distinguish an opinion and a statement um, from hatred because it cannot just be valid. We need to let people and let them know uh, why they what they're saying it's not okay and why they are committing. Uh, why are they being homophobic? We have to explain like I'm doing, like with arguments, with figures, with scientific evidence. So, okay, the gay marriage was legally finally in 2015, no 16. So it started in Vermont, in the state of Vermont, in 2000. So I'm gonna talk about some proposals to fight homophobia from home. I think that parents need to educate their children to respect and understand that all people are equal and all people have different values, different background, different feelings, and we can be different, but we can respect each other. This is the great thing about living in this country. Uh, I also think that the younger people need to receive this information from their families before than school. It's my opinion because it could help to. I think that would empower like children, young people, when they see maybe when they're doing bullying or jokes to a classmate, and that's my opinion. If the education starts from home, all those values, all the things that they learn at home, they're gonna do it at school. So we know that children and young adults are often not mature enough to deal with their sexual orientation or gender identity, so they can be a target of aggressions, mockery, or the discrimination. We have to recognize all the new forms of femininity and masculinity that legitimize boys and girls to behave according to their own characteristics. So we need to understand nowadays that, the different kind of role models of family. We need also to educate from social media. We need to create in the mass communication campaigns with a specific content in favor of LGBT citizens and inclusion of the topic in all institutional campaigns. We have to update the language with no discriminatory content in the media. And I also think that we have to fight for these legal rights. We need to promote the inclusion of the topic of sexual orientation and gender identity in legal instruments for the protection of human rights. So we need also to promote the debate with legislators and also in society for the new generation to create new laws that modify the existing laws. And we need to recognize and defend these new rights. We need to make the United States and all our countries to support the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and all the conventions and resolutions, and explain why uh, being gay is okay. Our sexual orientation does not define who we are, and we need to understand how different our families the way they can be conformed. So one thing I expect with this speech is the possible effects that can cause when I talk about fighting homophobia, and I expect that the bullying can significantly decrease if we talk about it. I also expect that the suicide rates among people in LGBT community will decrease if we talk openly like I'm doing, and if we are willing to hear other people's argument. Uh, we also have to, I think, if we do it and we let people express themselves, uh, and let them do what they really want to do, whatever they want to do with their lives, we're going to live in a more happier and more united society. So, in conclusion, I spoke today about some of the most important events in the LGBT community, in the United States, since the events in New York. Uh, we also talk about the events, how the marriage happened. We also make some proposals that could help improve homophobia, because everything started happening in the social media, and I think this is like right now the big way to make a change in all the social media. You don't have to be gay to fight for homophobia. Like I said, uh, I'm straight and I would fight for gay rights, because I think their rights are my rights too. And also, for example, I like this image and I chose it because fight for homophobia from home and from all ways you can do it. Like right now that we are in this situation with COVID-19, it was the gay Pride month. It was June, and I found this image of people just celebrating and expressing themselves with the colors of the gay flag, using their mask. There was no major events; everything was online. But that's one of my uh, ways that I think we can fight homophobia. So this will be it. So thank you very much.